All right, guys, I'm going to let you know all the new tools and features that we launched in the last few weeks, but not just what they are, how you can use it to potentially make you or save you thousands and thousands of dollars on Amazon. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Are you a 6, 7, or 8-figure seller and want to network in a private mastermind group with other experienced sellers? Or maybe you want to take advantage of monthly advanced training sessions with Kevin King, an expert guest. Do you want to come to our quarterly in-person all-day trainings at Helium 10 headquarters? Or do you want the widest access to the Helium 10 set of tools? For all of these things, the Elite program might be for you. For more information on Helium 10 Elite, go to h10.me/elite. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And this is our monthly BBL recap, Bigger, Better Launch recap, where I talk about the different new strategies and features that Helium 10 has released in the last few weeks, but with a focus on how you as Amazon and Walmart sellers can and should be using them in order to increase your sales in your business. Because it's not just about, oh, wow, look at Helium 10 and what they're launching. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's kind of useless if we launch things, but you guys don't use it or you don't know how to use it in order to get better. Now, this is an interesting BBL that we had because this is the first time that I wasn't a part of it at all as far as, presenting it. It was my amazing team, Carrie, Shivali, and Lem kind of took it over thanks to me being on an airplane. I was literally on an airplane traveling to here in Asia, where I'm at right now, in order to do the Asia tour I've been talking about on the podcast. And so they did an amazing job. And so now I'm going to be going over and recapping some of the things that they talked about, but again, with a focus on how you guys need to be using them in order to help increase your sales. So before I get into the newer updates, I wanted to recap what we did last month in the September BBL. All right, the first thing we talked about was Google Ads in Atomic. That was something that's only in beta right now, so not very few of you guys can use that, but keep an eye out. Once that opens up to more users, that's something you definitely should be using. I myself have been testing it out on my accounts, Project X, Project 5K. Google Ads, guys, maybe 2 years ago, you don't need to be using that, for Amazon sellers unless you're humongous, perhaps. But nowadays, it's definitely something that's more important. Atomic hourly analytics and day parting, we talked about last month. That was released to elite members, but now it's open to diamond members as well. We then talked about last month the Amazon brand analytics within Cerebro. And that was kind of like probably my favorite part of last month's BBL. Now, this is something that's important, guys, because you need to be able to get a holistic view on your keywords. All right. And in the past, what I've always taught is, hey, do it a little bit in Helium 10, but then also make sure that you guys are using brand analytics inside of Amazon in order to kind of like get a more holistic view, look at some history, etc. And now you can do both in one. So that was a huge update. If you got a diamond count or above, let me know how you guys have been using it. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this brand analytics in Cerebro because we got one of the first features is actually going to be talking about that. But I need you guys who are Amazon sellers to be using that. If you have a diamond and above account, you are not taking advantage of that, guys. That's one of the most value-added things that we've added to Cerebro in a couple of years to be able to, see who are the top 3 clicked and who are the top 3 purchased, because it's not always about who is the organic position top 3. All right. Something that brand analytics has taught us is that you could be maybe position 10, 11, 12 organically and still be one of the top 3 clicked. All right. And then when you find competitors that are doing that, that should open your eyes, guys. All right. If you're looking at product research or maybe even your own niche and you notice that there are competitors who are just crushing it as being one of the top 3 click, you got to ask yourself, what is going on? All right. How does their listing look so different in the search results that people are wanting to click on theirs, even though it's like halfway down the page. Because think about that. Think about that for a second. You as a buyer, all right? Like me personally, I'm always clicking like near the top of the page. If I start scrolling down, it's because I don't really see what I like there. And if I pick something towards the middle or bottom of page one, it must really stand out, all right, in the search results. All right, remember, think as a buyer, not as a seller. So this is something that, exclusively brand analytics can show you guys. And now we've got that in Helium 10. The other thing that we launched was new listing analyzer enhancements. These are pretty cool because it allows you to get a little bit deeper into the performance if you're looking at your own product. So this is another thing. I need you guys, if you have a diamond and above account, I want you guys to be checking this. All right, have you started using that? Put your own ASIN or your own SKU inside of Listing Analyzer today, guys. And then look at the business report history, look at your BSR history, and importantly, look at that BSR history, because something that has been coming up for about a month now is Amazon has been changing categories left and right. And you might have found that you have now new subcategories that Amazon is ranking you for, or that has your product in, that you didn't even realize. And this Listing Analyzer tool will show you if you have it. Like, for example, the coffin shelf, all of a sudden at the end of September, we started being in 2 different subcategories at once. All right. Some people, that was a good thing. Some people, it was a bad thing. When did that happen to your account or your product? If it did, use Listing Analyzer and look at that business reports history in order to see when that happened. Actually, the business reports history is what shows you like your clicks and your conversions and your page views and things like that. But it's the BSR history that is in Listing Analyzer. We had some updates to the Helium 10 app last month. We also had expanded metrics for Amazon attribution and estimated brand value, some updates to that one, and new features for Market Tracker 360 and product analysis we launched last month. Some new things about the subscription summary that you guys can like kind of see on your main page, what plan you're attached to, and also you're able to add a la carte things, like for example, more tokens to be connected to your account, or more sub-user accounts if you have more employees. So that was launched last month. One of the other things that we launched last month was the product summary view in the Chrome extension. All right. So this is another one of those things I want you guys to look at. All right. It's shocking to many sellers who use this for the first time that they did not know that somebody else is selling their ASIN in other marketplaces. So I want you guys to like pause this episode after I explain how to do this. I want you to pause it. If you're, as long as you're not in your car, if you're at your computer or something like that, pause it. And this is what I want you to do right after you pause it. Go to Amazon, whatever marketplace you're in. Go to your own product. Find your own product in Amazon. Obviously, don't click on your sponsored ad, guys. I don't want everybody saying that Bradley got everybody's clicks high because everybody's clicking on their own sponsored ad. But go into Amazon, find your product, and then click the Chrome extension. And then if you hit product summary view, all right? So this is right under kind of like the listing health score that you can see. And then once you go to listing health score, there's a summary, marketplace, and listing health score. Hit marketplace. And then it's going to show up to, I believe, 12 marketplaces if Amazon is, or if in another Amazon marketplace, somebody is selling your ASIN. And it might be you. Maybe you're crushing it and you are active in all marketplaces, Amazon Japan, Amazon Netherlands, Amazon Germany, etc. If that's you, you're going to see all of your listings right there and the price that is being sold at. But maybe you know that you are only selling, for example, Amazon USA and Canada. Like, for example, what you're seeing on the screen right now, those of you watching this on YouTube, this is the actual Helium 10 Project X coffin shelf. We are only selling in 2 marketplaces, us ourselves. That is USA and Canada. But look, there are active listings in Spain, France, Netherlands, Germany, Japan, UK, Italy, India, and Australia. What does that mean? That means that somebody else is taking advantage of our listing. Who knows what the heck they're selling? And remember, this, you might think, this is like not a big deal or something. Because maybe they're drop shipping your own USA product. If that's the case, who cares, right? But what if they're just selling some knockoff coffin shelf or some random coffin shelf that's crap? right? Taking advantage of all of our reviews and selling their own piece of garbage. Well, what happens when that seller or that buyer in Amazon Italy leaves a review? Remember, that could go and get visible in the global ratings. Even in the USA account, it could be visible that we had a terrible review and that could affect it. So this is something I want you guys to pause this right after this and then come back to listen to the whole episode. Look at your main few sellers and then let me know, do you see other people selling your ASIN? This is something that you guys should definitely do. So what do we have cooking for October? What did Shivali, Lem, and Carrie launch? How are we getting bigger? How are we getting better? All right, I talked about how in September we launched in brand analytics or in Cerebro brand analytics. And now what we had was the total click share. All right, so that is what Amazon is showing as the sum of the top 3 clicked. In other words, for example, you see here this keyword collagen powder. The sum of the top 3 clicked is 35.2%. That means out of the top 3 products that were clicked, they make up 35% of the clicks, the total clicks. All right, now this is important because you kind of want to see how people are dominating the market. So this was a great addition that we did last month, and I hope you guys have been using it. But now what we added this month, as you guys can see right here, this is for Diamond and Up, Diamond and Elite members. We have the total conversion share. All right, so what does that mean? That is, again, coming from brand analytics. And it's basically of those top 3 clicked, what percentage total of the conversions do they have? In other words, the actual purchases after the search of the keyword. So, for example, we've got here this first one that you see, collagen powder, and then it's 35% were the top 3 clicked. Of those 3 that were clicked, they make up 32% of the conversions. And this is kind of like what you normally see out there. If products get 1/3 of the clicks, they get about 1/3 of the conversions, all right? Because, they're the ones who are getting the most clicks. And so it just makes sense that people are actually purchasing it. But where this gets interesting is when you see discrepancies, all right? When you see these numbers are way different, all right? For example, take a look here, collagen peptides powder, the second one. You see the top 3 clicked, they make up over 50% of the total clicks. Let's just say that there's 100,000 clicks happening in a month. That means that they get about 51,000 of the clicks. But the total conversion share is only 35%. What does that mean? Let's just say there was 10,000 purchases out of those 100,000 clicks. Like 1 out of 10 people bought. Let's just say that, right? But instead of, you would think that they should get 5,000 purchases because it's 50% of the clicks, right? They only get about 3,500. So that means that 1 or more of those top 3 clicked, people are clicking off of it and buying something else. They don't really like it. So this is where you can find things that are interesting, because I would go in here, and the way that I personally would view this is like, well, wait a minute. What is going on with these top 3 clicked? And I would actually go into, I could actually see that here. I could click and find out who the top 3 clicked products were. And what is going on with their product pages that people are clicking on it, but they don't like what they see? Is there opportunity for me? Now, as you guys know, in the collagen powder and collagen peptides niche, I would never suggest, getting into that niche. But this is what is interesting, because you want to be able to see where there's a discrepancy between the clicks and the conversions. Let's flip the script a little bit and look at this next slide here, where this collagen vegan, for example, the top 3 clicked products make up 50% of the clicks, just like the other one that we looked at earlier. But the top 3 conversions, or those top 3 clicked, they make up 90% almost of the conversions. So what does that mean? That means that these products are on point, all right? Their conversion rate must be super, super high. People are clicking on other products, maybe, but they're not even buying them, because once a person lands on these 3 products that are the top clicked, they are pretty much purchasing them, and you'd probably see that in the detail. So again, what can you do with this information? You could go one of both ways. Let's say you're looking at product research. You could be like, wow, these guys are dominant. I don't think I can play on this keyword because these products are crushing. But what if you actually look at the products and you're like, these products aren't even that good, these top 3 click. It's just that the rest of the products here in this niche are garbage. They're trash, right? So I might have an amazing opportunity looking at this. If I can come up with a better product than these top 3, and it's not that difficult to do so, oh my goodness gracious, I might start crushing it in this niche. So, there's no one magic answer about how you use this information, and there's no one right answer. Like, you could talk to two different sellers and they might have opposite strategies, and it's not like either of them are wrong. But the bottom line is, guys, for diamond and above, you have got to be using this to start looking into your conversion share. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can actually click into it and get some insights. And here you could see that right here on this slide, where this is that collagen peptides powder. And I can actually, once I click on that graph, this is what comes up. And then now I can actually see here, those of you watching this on YouTube, I can actually see, hey, what were the top 3 clicked products, all right? And then what percentage of it. So if you remember, there was one keyword that we were looking at that had a total of about 40% of the clicks, around there, 45% of the clicks. But as I can see here, once I click on this, I can actually see what were those top 3 clicked and then what percentage of the clicks and conversions each of them has. And it's very interesting. Like, for example, I can take a look here at the number 1 clicked and see that it made up of 23%. All right. It has more than twice the number of clicks than any other product in the whole entire niche of this keyword that people click on. So that product is just dominating, right? These are the kind of insights you could never have before with Helium 10, but now you have it now that we've integrated brand analytics. Another cool thing here is I can actually see the history. This Vital Proteins collagen peptides, for example, as you can see here, this is the number 1 clicked in August, number 1 clicked in July, number 1 clicked in June. However, their click share is actually going down. Now, the thing that I really like about this, guys, is I can actually get some insights into what's going on with sponsored ads. Now, for example, one of these in July was one of the top 3, and it didn't even have an organic rank. Why? I can actually tell exactly why, right? What is happening? This, guys, this is amazing. I need you guys to pay attention to this. And those of you listening to this on the podcast and you can't even see what I'm talking about, you're going to need to go to YouTube a week later and watch this, because this is just mind-blowing, right? In July, this Vital Proteins had 2 of the top 3 clicked ASINs. Now, here's the thing, guys. These are variations. They're both in the same child item family, all right? Now, as you know, you can only rank for one child item at a time organically. And that's the case here. Look at this. The number 1 clicked product had no rank. Helium 10 did not detect it in organic ranks. This is mind-boggling, guys. This is the number 1 click. So you might be wondering, wait a minute, how can it not even be ranking in the first 7 pages, and yet it's the most clicked? Well, take a look at their sponsored rank average. It is number 1. That means they got all of their clicks from being the first sponsored ad on the page, all right? Even though the one that was getting the actual rank was this product number 2, where it was organic rank number 1, yet sponsored rank number 24 when it was even detected, all right? So this is just mind-blowing, guys. This company was able to get, for this one keyword, what is this, 30% of 34%, 35% of the clicks with one product, because they had 2 variations. One was ranked organically at page 1, position 1. One was ranked on sponsored ads, page 1, position 1. So you can really get some next level insight into what your competitors are doing. And like I said, you do not have to be organic ranked number 1 to even be the top one. This guy was not even organic ranked at all. If you looked at the coffin shelf, and how it ranks for or the Project X coffin shelf and how it ranks for coffin shelf, you'll notice that organic rank average is like 10 to 15. But we are always traditionally number 1 or number 2 with the most number of clicks, because of our sponsored rank average is actually number 1. So really cool update, guys. Now you're going to see the conversion rate in addition to the click rate, or conversion share, I should say, in addition to the click share. And I need you guys with diamond and above to be looking at these, at these metrics, all right? Another thing that we added was magnet to keyword tracker, all right? So let's say you're doing some keyword research in Magnet. Remember, Magnet is our keyword-based tool. Cerebro is a reverse ASIN tool. It still shows you keywords, but you enter in ASINs or products, and then it spits out keywords that are related to those ASINs. Well, with Magnet, you enter in keyword, and it spits out keywords related to that keyword that you enter. Well, now what you're going to do, and this comes from you guys, you can select any number of keywords that come up in the results and then choose to add it to one of your keyword tracks. All right. So hopefully you guys are utilizing Keyword Tracker, and instead of having to just like copy and paste somewhere and then go to Keyword Tracker and then try and like add it, nope, you can add it directly from Magnet. You'll be able to choose which product you want to get, and then it will you'll go ahead and be able to add those keywords from Magnet to an existing keyword track session that you have. For those of you who are not Helium 10 members and you're about to sign up, or maybe you're a free member and you haven't connected your account, here's an update for you. So this is regardless of the level of the plan you're on, you are going to have a different onboarding process now, where instead of like being overwhelmed, like, oh my God, there's like 45 tools literally here at Helium 10, I don't know where to start. You're going to have this like checklist of the things to get started on your Helium 10 journey. So if you are just signing up today or soon, you're going to sign up soon, make sure to complete this checklist. It goes from things like connecting your Amazon account to actually doing the most common uses of how new users can get started. So that's something that we have for all users who get started with Helium 10, something new there. Another thing we launched was language localization to your toolbar. All right. So, we launched this in BBL a few months ago, where instead of just in English, you can actually have your Helium 10 dashboard, not just the information, but I mean, I'm not just, the marketplace that you're selling in, but the actual language that the columns are in and the menu bars and everything else. You could actually have it in languages like Chinese, Spanish, and German, and I think Italian as well. But right before, you had to like actually click into your settings. It was kind of a tedious task. So we listened to the responses that we were getting from our foreign language customers, and now it's kind of like at the very top of the page. Of your menu, you'll have a drop down where you can go ahead and toggle between languages that you're viewing Helium 10 in. The next update is to something that we launched in August, September, which was our sales heat map. All right. So we've always had our inventory heat maps, if you guys remember. And then now we added a sales heat map. All right. This was important because in addition to seeing where your inventory is being stored, which was the first thing that we added, now you can actually see where there's concentration of your sales. And now we launched that last month. So hopefully you guys are using that right now. But now there's a toggle where instead of just seeing the total, like you see here on the left, I can actually see per capita. All right. Now, what does this mean? So like I'm going to be able to, or you're going to be able to now see, like, are you getting like an abnormally high number of sales, per capita? Like, for example, if I had 10 sales in Los Angeles, California, well, per capita, that's not really making too much of a dent. That's like not too impressive. Los Angeles is a city with millions of people. But if I had same number of sales, 10 sales in like Rio Rancho, New Mexico, a small suburb of Albuquerque over there, that's actually more impressive because per capita, that is going to be higher. And so that would be something to look at. Like, why in the world are so many people in Rio Rancho, New Mexico buying my product? All right. I'm going to go target that with Google ads. I'm going to target it with Facebook ads, or whatever the case is. I know something is going on where my product is really vibing with customers in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, or maybe I would even target Albuquerque or something like that. But you can get different insights. So again, Diamond and Above account, guys, you guys need to be using the sales heat maps. You need to be using the inventory heat maps, but take action on it. All right. Sure, it's nice to see beautiful looking maps and it's like, different dots all over the place, here and oh, this is cool. Look at these numbers. But I want you guys diving into this information and seeing if you can do something. We talk about, integrating Google ads within Helium 10. You can do Google ads right now, even though you might not have access to Helium 10's version. And then, what can you do with this information? Do you think that sales are too low in a place and they should be higher? You might want to target it. Again, you could have the opposite idea. If you think sales per capita are abnormally high in a geographic location, well, you might take that information and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and target this. I'm going to double down and send some more outside traffic there because it obviously has a good conversion rate. So this is just something that's interesting that you guys should be looking at, sales heat maps. Another thing that we have an update to our alerts tool. All right. Now we have filters like where you can say, hey, let me look at the buy box status history, or not history, but the buy box status. Let me filter it down to where I don't have the buy box. Let me filter it down to X marketplace. Let me filter it down to the number of sellers. There's a lot of different filters that we now have in alerts. And guys, just in general, you have got to be using alerts. This possibly saves more money for Helium 10 users than even Refund Genie. And Refund Genie is a tool that actually goes and finds money that Amazon owes you. But alerts potentially saves Helium 10 customers more money. It has saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. Why? Because sometimes things happen in your account that you might not realize, like Amazon changing dimensions here and there, or Amazon changing your image, or somebody changing your image, somebody hijacking your listing. The big one that gets me all the time is the Amazon changing the dimensions, and all of a sudden I'm paying like 50 cents more or $1 more per unit to ship it, and I don't even realize it. Imagine if I sell 5,000 units in a month, that's $5,000 extra from my profit, directly from my profit, that I'm missing out. And Helium 10 could have alerted you about that. So guys, you need to be making sure you have alerts on, and now you can, those of you who have more products can filter it down. This is available for Platinum, Diamond, and Elite users. Another thing is bulk enablement. So let's just say you're the loser out there. I'm just playing with you, but yeah, you pretty much should consider yourself a loser if you have not been using alerts and you're already paying Helium 10. Like, this is literally free for you if you're already paying for Helium 10. But anyways, let's just say you're maybe not a loser, but maybe somebody, a very busy individual who has not had time to activate alerts. But now you have seen the light because Bradley says, make sure to use alerts. Well, in the past, you would have to one by one activate alerts. Like, let's say you got 500 SKUs. That's kind of a pain. Like in Japanese, we have this word called mendakusai, like really pain in the neck. They would always say that in Naruto, those who are Naruto fans. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Any Naruto fans out there? Who's the guy who always say mendakusai? Anyways, I digress. But it's not a pain in the neck anymore because now you can go ahead and do bulk activation for alerts. So I want you guys to do that. First of all, use the filters to filter out which ASINs you want to filter out. That was the thing I just announced 2 minutes ago. And then select them all, and I want you in one fell swoop to go ahead and activate everything for alerts. All right. Here's an example. Mark Henderson talked about. He I don't want to call him a loser, but he was one of those individuals who was not paying for Helium 10. So it's not like he was paying for Helium 10 and didn't do alerts. But what he says is, Amazon has recategorized my ASINs into a completely different category. It didn't have any impact on sales, but it put me in a higher referral fee bracket. You guys might think that everywhere in Amazon, it costs 15% for commission. No, not every category. If you get changed categories, it could be more. Maybe you were in one that had 10 and now you get moved to something that's 15%. And he says here, I didn't notice for weeks. I wish I was paying for Helium 10 at the time. What I lost would have paid for my subscription. So guys, don't be like Mark and regret not having alerts on. Make sure to activate alerts for every single one of your products. All right, guys? Next update that we did was in Listing Analyzer. Real easy. This is just a simple one, guys. But if you're tracking your own products in Keyword Tracker, which I hope you are, it's just another way to go easily into Listing Analyzer to see what's going on with your listing if you want to get some information instead of having to copy and paste ASINs and things like that. Another update, this is for like wholesale and arbitrage users. For Black Box, historically, we have capped out the number of results to 200. And this is not a mistake or a bug. Some people think, oh, it's a bug. How come there's only 200 results? I know there's more. Yes, there are more, but we purposely did that for a number of reasons. Number one, it's just best policy not to look up more than 200 if you're doing a product research session. Because I guarantee if you look up 1,000 ASINs, and those were what came up in the filters, you're not going to look up 1,000. You're going to probably miss like 900 of them because you're going to get too focused on this, and then you're not even going to know which ones you've seen and which one you haven't. So we've always taught that if you ever see over 200 results, that means you need to filter it down. Now, what happens is because you're having to do all these filters, there's another benefit from always having this cap of 200. It makes it that much less likely that somebody else is doing your search. Because some people people ask this question all the time. Oh my goodness, Helium 10 has hundreds of thousands of users. It's the number one tool company in the space. What if everybody's doing my same exact black box search and we all launched the same product at the same time because we found it at the same time? It's like kind of a legitimate question, right? But you don't have to worry about that. I mean, the more you filter it down, if you filter it down to like 100 units or 100 products out of the 2 billion that are in Helium 10's database. Do you know the odds of other people go filter using the same exact filters that come up with the same exact results? It's like astronomically low. So this has always been another way. That being said, there was a lot of customers who are maybe wholesale sellers or arbitrage sellers, and they're not necessarily looking for private label research, and they just want to run, for example, black box on one of their competitors' storefronts. Hey, I want to see all 200, 300, 400, 500 products that my competitor is selling. Or I want to enter this one brand. I want to see all of the Nike shoes that are being sold online that are between $100 and $200. And that might not be 200 products. And so it was kind of a pain for that. So because of that, for Diamond and Elite members, now we have added the ability to see up to 500 results. All right. So again, if you're a private label seller, I still highly suggest narrowing it down to until it gets to be 200 or less. But those of you out there who are arbitrage or wholesale, or maybe you're looking at your competitor's storefront, I mean, even if you're a private label, this is something you can do. You want to take a look at what your competitor's best products are, enter in their storefront name into Blackbox, and just go ahead and see all their products. Maybe you're like, hey, which of my competitors' products are doing over $10,000 a month? And they've got 1,000 products. Enter it in to Blackbox. Boom goes his dynamite. You're going to see all of those products that they're making $10,000 or more from a brand or from a storefront. All right, next update you'll see whenever is the next time you update your Helium 10 Chrome extension is you'll see the little blue, I don't know what the word is, like little logo or Helium 10 logo, I guess is a way to say it, but it'll show up on the top of the page on Amazon. And now this is what customers were asking for because, unlike other Chrome extensions, we're not just one Chrome extension. Our Chrome or one tool. Our Chrome extension has like 8 different tools in it. And then to see X-ray, you would have to go to the top of the screen, hit the Helium 10 Chrome extension, and then hit X-ray, and then see the results that way. But people have just said, hey, is there a one-click way I can do that? Well, now you'll see on the Chrome extension, or on the Amazon results, you'll be able to just click on this little Helium 10 logo and then run the tool from there instead of having to click it at the very top of the screen. When you're on a product page, again, you'll see it right there on the right-hand side, big Helium 10 logo. You don't have to go looking for it in your toolbar. Just hit it right there and you'll be able to run the different tools. If you are on the Amazon main page, you'll be able to go ahead and do something from that main page there. If you're on Walmart.com, again, just hit the Chrome extension right there on Walmart. If you're on Alibaba.com, we have a tool that works on Alibaba.com called the Demand Analyzer. Instead of having to go click up into the Chrome extension bar, you'll just be able to go ahead and click it right there in the Helium 10 logo. Another new thing that we just talked about last week in the Weekly Buzz was that Amazon Belgium now launched. Amazon Belgium as a marketplace. So sellers, buyers, they can now sell and buy on Amazon Belgium. And right off the bat, from day one, guys, you have ability, if you are actually active in Amazon Belgium, you're going to be able to see your sales and profit information in your Helium 10 Profits tool. This is for Platinum, Diamond, or Elite. If you're selling in Amazon Belgium, go ahead and take a look at your profits in our Profits tool. All right, our last update of the of BBL October was brand analytics in Magnet. Now, the information is kind of the same as what I've been talking about at the beginning of this episode, Instapaper, but this to me is hashtag game changing because let's say I wanted to look up specific information of how Helium 10 data corresponds to brand analytics on a certain keyword. Well, until now, which is 2 months only since we've only had this for a couple months, the only way to do that is by entering in an ASIN into Cerebro and hope that this keyword I have in mind comes up. That is not a very efficient way to do this. So now you can actually enter in your keywords to Magnet and instantly see the brand analytics. And instead of seeing all of the keywords related to it, like let's say I only wanted to see 5, I had a list of 5 keywords I wanted to deep dive into and look at what the brand analytics data meshed with Helium 10 data is showing. Well, remember on Magnet, I would actually go ahead and hit the second tab, which allows me to enter in multiple keywords separated by a comma. And then boom, it's going to go right to those 5 keywords. And I can just go ahead and hit the data of ClickShare and be able to see all the brand analytics. Or in an instant, I could see the total click share and total conversion share. Or I could just go by one keyword. Like let's say, hey, I want to see all the collagen related keywords on Amazon. If I can, go see if there's any opportunity based on what I see as the click and conversion share. So I could just enter collagen into Magnet and spit out the results. Or actually here in this page, you can see that that's what we did, collagen peptides. And then I'll be able to see instantly what's going on for the whole entire collagen peptides keyword market. And there's, potentially hundreds of keywords. There's 13,000 keywords that came up here, and then be able to do research that way. Another thing that I like to do, like let's say you have some kind of unique material that you are doing for your products. All right. This is a great technique. You're in the product research stage. What I would do is I would enter that material or that niche. Like, for example, I would enter coffin. If I'm looking for an expansion to the coffin shelf brand, Manny's Mysterious Oddities, maybe I'll enter coffin into Magnet and then see all of the long tail keywords that have coffin in it that come up. And then again, do some filters based on this click share and conversion share, right? Let's say I do products that are acrylic. I would just enter acrylic into Magnet, and then I would filter out for any keyword search that has acrylic in it. And then again, put in some filters. Like for example, I would say if I wanted to see one where nobody was buying these products, the top 3 clicked, I would say, hey, show me the keywords that have acrylic in it that have more than 30% of the click share, are the top 3 products, but less than 10% are purchased, and at least X amount of search volume. Guys, this is like next level stuff that you would never have been able to do in brand analytics before. You can do that with just a couple of clicks. What about that scenario I just said? What does that show me? Well, that shows me, are there keywords that are being searched that have the word acrylic in it, like acrylic board or acrylic skateboard? I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but acrylic whatever, right? Where there's people clicking on it, but nobody's buying the top 3 click. That means that people just aren't happy with the market in general, right? So there's just, the possibilities are endless, guys. This is, I don't always want to use the word hashtag game changing, but I want this to be game changing for you. This is not something that revolutionizes the whole entire industry, because, you've always had access to brand analytics, but it could be game changing to you if you have not been using brand analytics, or if you have never been able to run pivot tables and do these kind of queries where you can see opportunity. Kevin King has been talking about using brand analytics like this for a long time, but you always have to be able to download some kind of template and do some pivot tables and VLOOKUPs and things like that inside of an Excel file. And not all of us are Excel pros. Now you're going to be able to do that right here in Magnet, guys, where you can just enter in some queries and get instant information on some cool potential keywords. All right, one thing I want you guys to do, there's going to be a killer webinar that we are doing, hosted by Kevin King and Carrie, and I might be on there too. I'll still be in my my Asia tour, but hopefully I'll be able to connect. It's on November 3rd. So if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe it's too late, to see this. But if you're listening to this before November 3rd, guys, go to helium10.com/hacks. Helium10.com/hacks. And I want you to register for this free webinar, 51 hacks to supercharge your Amazon business. This is going to be from Kevin King. He's giving all 51 of these hacks. Carrie might be giving a couple of her hacks, and we're going to have some bonuses on there for you. And I'm probably going to save this for myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to give Carrie the honor to do this, or I might just be greedy and take this for myself, because this is something I've been asking for a long time. But we have got an amazing announcement for a new kind of tool that it's not a new tool. It's like in an existing tool. I don't want to spoil it too much. In an existing tool, it's going to help you with keyword research, and it's going to be amazing. In other words, let me just leave it at that, guys. It is going to be amazing, and it's something that I've wanted for more than 3 years, and nobody has ever done it in the space. Not just Helium 10, but nobody has done this kind of functionality, and it just opens up the possibilities of really extensive keyword research. And so, like, I'm so excited about this. But we're going to announce that for the first time on November 3rd. So make sure to sign up for that webinar, guys. There's also a webinar coming up on November the 9th, all right, with Vince Montero and Amazon ads. So be looking out for your email for information on that. Also, don't forget, guys, that we do this BBL podcast. This is not just on Serious Sellers Podcast, but it's also on Serious Sellers Podcast en Español and Serious Sellers Podcast auf Deutsch. So if you're watching this on YouTube, scan this this QR code that you see on the screen right now. And then you'll be able to go to last month's BBL, and soon, in a few days, you'll be able to get October's BBL in German and in Spanish. If you're listening to this on the podcast, don't forget, guys, just whatever you're listening to this on, just enter in Serious Sellers Podcast, or enter in, or Serious Sellers Podcast in Espanol, or enter Serious Sellers Podcast auf Deutsch. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this special edition of the October BBL, October Bigger, Better launch. We got bigger, we got better, and it's by launching new features and tools that you guys have been asking for. So please keep those suggestions coming in, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.